Well, the RMAC has released their preseason baseball poll and All-American picks today, and Colorado Mesa was the unanimous pick to win the conference championship. It shouldn't come as much of a surprise. The Mavs finished 45-11 last season, won the RMAC championship, and earned a trip to the NCAA tournament. And their selection for the preseason Player of the Year, Nate Robertson, the junior infielder from Montrose. He earned the Player of the Year award last season after posting .381 average with 5 homers and 47 RBIs. The Mavs opened their season at Saplesio Field February 7th against the University of Nebraska-Kearney. 1 week ago, the Mesa baseball team season opener was canceled due to snow on the ground, but today the sun was out and it was an absolutely gorgeous day at Saplesio Field as the Mavs wrapped up their 4-game homestand against Dixie State out of Utah, looking to begin 4-0 and complete the sweep of the Red Storm. And the super fans, of course, were out today hoping those brooms would get put to use. After a 4-run first inning, Dixie rallied to within a run, and at the top of the 6th, with a man on second, they'd take back the lead. Tyler Blair jacks one over the wall in right field. That's 2 runs. The Storm go up 5-4. Bottom of the frame now, Austin Wallingford drops down a bunt for the Mavs down the third base line. Runners advance to second and third, but he's got speed for a catcher. Beats the throw. Bases are loaded with no outs, so great spot to retake the lead, put some runs on the board. But Dixie would get out of the jam, including 2 straight strikeouts from Cody Christopherson to end the inning and keep them up a run. The Mavs have had a great weekend of pitching from their staff, though, and in comes Cody Lehman. Rings up Drew McLaughlin there. Lehman threw 2 innings of relief with no hits allowed. To the bottom of the 7th now, they're in the same spot. Bases loaded, no outs. Garrett Carpenter delivers this time, knocks one up the middle past the second baseman. Sergio Valenzuela and Derek Garcia score. That makes it 6-5. They'd add 1 more run before Dakota Bear comes in to close. He'd collect his 2nd save of the season. Lehman gets the win, and the Mavs complete the 4-game sweep, aided by some great pitching over the weekend.
We like our arms. I mean, first day is first day. You know, Kyle Davis will be better next time out, I'm sure. And we have 2 or 3 kids that didn't get an opportunity to pitch this weekend that I really was hoping we could extend this lead and get everybody some work.
The baseball team has been in action for over a month already with 7 games to their name. The Mavs have taken on a 5-2 record, but their only losses coming against University of Northern Colorado this past weekend. Still, they came away with both Player of the Week honors, one to pitcher Nevin Wilson and the other to outfielder Austin Kaiser. With plenty of preseason work behind them, they're ready to begin play in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference on the road this weekend.
We're always confident, but at the same time, always got things to work on, always trying to improve from week to week. We just have the focus of, you know, we're out there to smother everybody. It doesn't matter who it is or win. We're always trying to improve.
We want to not maybe put so much emphasis on the wins. You know, we've won a lot of conference titles. We've done a lot of those things. Ultimately, we want to be playing our best on that Sunday in May that gives you an opportunity to go to the World Series.
The Mavericks took a back seat over the weekend to the high school teams as the Bill Fanning Classic took over Saplesio Field. But the Mavs began their series with Regis yesterday, and after all that wrapped up, and they took the first game 5-3. Today, that meant a doubleheader again with the Rangers. CMU sending Nevin Wilson to the mound, looking for his 2nd win of the year, and things were looking pretty good for him early on. Bottom of the 3rd, already up 5-0. Austin Wallingford smacks the hanging curveball through the gap between 3rd and short. Nate Robertson comes around to score. Very next batter is Tony Audino. He hits it just over the second baseman's glove. He's going to roll for a while into the gap, and Wallingford can come all the way around from first, making it 7-0. Same score, bottom of the 4th, Austin Kaiser at the plate. He goes the other way with it, and it bounces off the warning track. A shot for him. That's in right center field. An easy double, though. You're going to see Kaiser trying to stretch it for 3. He's going to be called out, but a run does come in. Another stellar outing for the Mavs pitchers. Wilson goes 6 innings, giving up just 2 hits, 1 walk, and striking out 11. He does pick up the win as they add 2 more right here. Another hanging breaking ball finds the outfield. This time off the bat of Garrett Carpenter. CMU wins game 1 of the doubleheader, 10-0. And same story in the back end of the doubleheader. They wrap up the series with the Rangers tomorrow at 2 o'clock. The softball team took care of the Ore Diggers in both games yesterday. They do the same today, get the 4-game sweep of Colorado Mines, 7-6 in game 1, 11-3 in the 2nd. They improved to 8-8 on the year on a 6-game win streak as well. This Rangers on Saturday and Sunday, in which they outscored their opponent 23-4 in that span. Mavericks baseball team has moved up a few spots in the Division II coaches poll. Number 30 last week, they jumped to 27 today with a 9-3 record, and they would take that brand new ranking into today's matchup with Regis, the final of their 4-game set. and a win would be number 10 on the year, as well as a nice 5-1 start to their RMAC schedule. As I mentioned, they outscored Regis 23-4 through the first 3 games. So not only are they hitting, but their pitching staff is on fire today. Kyle Davis on the bump, and he was searching for his first W of the season. Here he is, top of the 5th, making it look easy. He had 6 innings, just 3 hits and 5 Ks. The Rangers pitchers, not quite the same stuff. Bottom 5 bases jammed for Nate Robertson. He paints that third baseline all the way to the wall. 2 runs score on the double, and it's an 8-0 game. 2 batters later, Davis can't well at the plate, and Mavs continue to enjoy that area in left field. He singles just over the third baseman, and Robertson comes around to score. Still in the 5th inning, Kevin Elcock has the bases loaded as well. Jacks this one to deep center field for the sac fly. Elcock with 3 ribbies today as the Mavs win this one 11-2. Get the convincing 4-game sweep of Regis. They've got Colorado Mines at home next weekend. Series opener between Mesa and Mines at Simplesio. Matt DeLay was named RMAC Pitcher of the Week earlier on. He was on the rubber again today, and he looked pretty good. Top of the 2nd, though, with a 2-0 lead, he gave up this 1 run. Charlie Basil drops it into shallow left to bring home Mark Goldsmith, and the Mavs with just a 1-run lead. No worries for DeLay, though. He limits the damage, fanning Corky Patton to end the inning. Then they got the bats going again. Tony Audino with a shot. It goes over the head of the center fielder. He can't track it down. Austin Wallingford comes around to score, and Audino put it in the best spot that wasn't over the wall. He slides into third safely for a triple. Next batter, Derek Garcia. A little blooper just past the second baseman allows Audino to score from third. Now it's a 4-1 Maverick lead. Same inning, bases loaded for a new pitcher. Kyle Serrano grounds to short. Out at second, but a great slide breaks up the double play. It's a bad throw. 2 more Mavs score, including Austin Kaiser. Watch this. He lays out to touch the plate. Looking good for them. DeLay in line for the win. Mavs up 9-1 currently in the 8th inning. Mavs and the Ore Diggers of Colorado Mines. First of a doubleheader today. Nevin Wilson gets the start. He struggled early. In comes Cody Lehman in the 3rd. He held it down for a while. Catches Logan Smith looking there. So Mavs are up 5-4. Top of the 4th. A frustrated Mines team finally gets the big hit they needed from Charlie Basil. Man on, he takes it for a ride over the tall wall in left field. They go up 6-5. Bottom half of the inning, Tony Audino gets things going for CMU. He had a great series so far, adds a leadoff single. Eventually, they load the bases for Austin Kaiser. He sees just 1 pitch. That is all he would need. AK-47 with a great swing. That got out of here in a hurry. A grand slam for Kaiser, an enormous hit. CMU retakes the lead 9-7. Next inning, bases jammed again with 2 outs for Nate Robertson. Sharp grounder to 3rd. Sergio Valenzuela initially called safe. A run scores, but after a long talk between umpires, they rule him out. No matter, CMU tops Mines again, 11-7 in Game 1. And the second half of the doubleheader just wrapped up. The Mavs take it 3-2, but Joey Danner took a no-hitter, a 3-0 game into the 6th inning before he finally gave up a hit and eventually a run. He still gets the win, and Dakota Bear another save. They'll wrap the series with the Ore Diggers tomorrow. Mines this afternoon on an 8-game win streak where they've outscored their opponents 67-16 during that span. That means they're averaging more than 8 runs per contest while allowing just 2. So those are some incredible numbers. A win today would also mean back-to-back 4-game sweeps of their RMAC rivals. And, of course, the pit was there in full force. Broomsticks in hand. Let's go right to the bottom of the 6th. 3-0 lead, 2 on. Eric Woodward gets a hold of the 1-2 pitch and runs it down the third baseline to the outfield. Kennedy Kincaid scores, and it's a 4-run Maverick advantage. On the very next pitch, Jason Ross slices it into shallow center field. That's good for a single and 2 more runs, stretching it out to a 6-0 game. So still no outs in the inning. The bases are loaded, and up steps Austin Kaiser. He hit a grand slam in yesterday's game. Could he do it again? He gets the right pitch and takes it for a trip, but it comes up just short on the warning track. It's good enough for a sac fly, though. Kaiser had a terrific series this weekend nonetheless. This was another runaway. 7-1 is your final. Kyle Davis gets the win, striking out 8 batters. Trent Alienick doing work here. He had 2 strikeouts in his inning of relief work. It's their 8th game. They've allowed 2 runs or less, showing just how deep the pitching staff is.
It doesn't matter who's out there, no matter what position. You know, I think we all have confidence. I for sure do. I mean, as you saw with our pitching depth, you know, we have depth. I mean, we have a bunch of young guys and a bunch of guys just in general that can go into any position and perform at any level.
Only a couple brief rough spells, but overall, pleased with our pitching. We tell them hold them to 3 or under, and the offense has to do the rest. So they did that, and we did well.
On Friday, Colorado Mesa baseball team is on the road for their first series against New Mexico Highlands, and they'll be looking to make it 10 straight. The Mavs have once again found their rhythm in another season, defeating their last two opponents with a series sweep. Now, 1/3 of the way through the schedule, they sit in first place in their division and in the entire conference. Tomorrow they'll start up their series against the Cowboys, the top team in the Plains division. Last year, the Mavs delivered 4 straight wins at home, and once again, they're expecting to do the same with confidence in how their team has been performing.
I feel like we're just playing well together as a team right now. Everyone's just worried about doing their job, and everyone's executing right now.
We've been pitching it very well. The bats are coming around a little bit. I think we're getting better. Still have a ways to go, but we have a good test this weekend on the road at New Mexico Highlands.
Mesa, like Coach said, they'll be on the road for their game against Highlands University. It's set for Friday at 3 o'clock. They'll play a doubleheader Saturday starting at 1 and wrap up the 4-game series Sunday at noon. Colorado Mesa back from their road trip in which they went 3-3. Tonight they open the homestand against Adams State University. The Grizzlies may have been first on the board, but the Mavericks weren't too far behind. Austin Kaiser taking the pitch to right field for a sacrifice fly. Sergio Valenzuela gets into tie it at 1 early. They'll add another before the inning expires with 2 outs. Nate Robertson chopping this one up the middle. Austin Wallingford hits the plate, and Robertson gets to first safely for a 2-1 lead. Then things quiet down for a bit. It's all about pitching. Top of the third, Matthew Lay gets Chris Morley looking to end it. Then J.D. Heredia has a little something for the Mavs coming in the same form, and just like that, the third comes to a close. Next inning, CMU gets some distance from Adams with 1 out. Tony Andino puts the bunt down the line. Garrett Carpenter scores. And then with runners on the corner, once again, Valenzuela delivers with an RBI single through the right side. Jordan Leister touches the plate for a 4-1 lead. And you get the idea. The Mavs would continue to play the field well, accumulate those steals to get in position. They had 8 in all, and ultimately score, taking game 1 of the series 11-3.
First, the Mavs continued their homestand today against Adams State at Simplesio Field, and this will be a big series for them after a tough RMAC road trip where they went just 2-3 last weekend. They had a pretty convincing 11-3 win last night in the opener with Adams. Ryan Reno to take the mound for the Mavs today in the first half, but let's go right to the plate, and things started off with a bang, up 1-0 with a man on. Austin Kaiser stays red hot, a great swing over the wall in left field, another homer for him, and Mavs lead it 3-0. The inning continues. To the dismay of the Grizzlies, Kevin Mitchell with a man on third, still 1 out, hits a towering fly to left field where it's a little too sunny out there. Would have been a sac fly anyway, but a run comes home. To the fourth now, it's a 5-0 lead until AK-47 steps up again, smacks it just past the shortstop into left field. Kevin Alcock hustles from second to touch the plate. Kaiser goes 4 for 4 with 4 ribbies in the game. And here's a great 1-2 punch. Next guy up, Nate Robertson, and the hits keep coming for the Mavs. Another good-looking swing ends with a double, and it plates Sergio Valenzuela. And really, this entire lineup is a threat. At least they were in this one. Kevin Mitchell again, he goes opposite field. This one is good for a hit and a couple RBIs. He had 3 of them. He went 2 for 4 in the game. An easy first win for the Mavs. 12-3 is your final. Reno picks up the win. Game 2, of course, was right after this one. Just as good for CMU. Joey Danner throws a complete game, giving up just 3 hits as the offense gets 2 runs in the 4th, 5th, and 6th innings for a 6-0 final. Mavs improved to 20-6 overall. They'll wrap the series with Adams State tomorrow at noon.
Colorado Mesa, I'm not sure what they did prior to tonight's homestand against Metro State, but they came out firing with 9 runs in the first inning alone. As if that didn't set the tone and the pace, 3rd inning, Nate Robertson gets a freebie on a drop 3rd strike, makes it safely to first, and Garrett Carpenter scores from 3rd, make that a 10-2 game. Metro's defense was lacking, doing anything but helping their own cause. Austin Wallingford with a shot to short. Austin Kaiser heads home on the RBI single, 11-2 Mavericks. So the Roadrunners had a few good moments. Ryan Baca gets Kevin Mitchell to watch that pitch to the corner, ending the inning. But those moments didn't happen often. In the 4th, the visitors are still trying to play catch-up, but Kaiser denies them that opportunity with a great cleanup in the field. You could tell this one was in the bag early, and Mesa sealed it 13-4. Matthew Lay gets the win, improving to 4-0 on the year. The teams face off again tomorrow in a doubleheader that starts at 1 o'clock.
Head out to Simplesio now, where the Mavs look to keep their perfect record alive at home. They're 18-0 at Simplesio after after last night's 13-4 win over Metro. Now they found themselves in a 3-0 hole. Matt Allen comes in relief and does a great job. Little freeze frame action there. They score 2 in the third, 2 in the fourth for a 4-3 lead. Jordan Leister adds to it here, single up the middle, scores a run, and that would make it 5-3. Still in the fifth inning, Derek Garcia gets in on the action. He pushes one through that middle hole, and Leister would come around to touch home. That made it 6-3. That's 6 unanswered runs for the Mavs if you're counting. The next inning, guys on second and third. Jake Druce collects an RBI, chopper to third. It's fielded. Druce out at first, but Garrett Carpenter slides in for the run. Now bases loaded for Roman Chavez. He gets a hold of this one, and it drops in past the diving center fielder. Perfect placement for him. That is a bases clearing double. So 3 more runs make it 10-3. The route is on, and that is your final from game 1. 10-3 Mavs in the second. Not as much scoring, but they do improve to a perfect 20-0 at home. 2-1 final here. Joey Danner gets the win. We have to go all the way back to May 12th, nearly a full year ago, to find the last time the Mavericks lost a game at Supplesio Field, and that was in the RMAC tournament. Since then, they've been perfect at home with a 19-0 record during the regular season, and they could pick up their 5th series sweep of the year. Looking for that 4th win of the weekend today against Metro State in win number 20. The Mavs got a couple runs in the second inning and wouldn't add another until the 5th. Garrett Carpenter shows some power and drills the opposite field. It drops in just inside the foul line for an RBI single. Now Kyle Davis pitched 6 innings, allowing just 1 run, but got himself into a jam into the 7th. Entered Dakota Bear, who strikes out 2 and gets a pop-up to end the bases-loaded threat. In the 8th, though, Bear finds himself in a tough spot. Pinch hitter Danny Westerberg pops it to shallow right field. Great catch by Austin Kaiser, but Sean Reeves tags up, making it a 3-2 game. That's all the Roadrunners would get out of Bear, though. He gives them a taste and shuts them down, striking out Chris Spirik to end the inning. And just in case, Nate Robertson will tack on a couple more runs here, sending a chopper past the third baseman for some insurance. Kaiser and Carpenter score 5-2 final. CMU gets win number 20 at home and win 27 overall. The Mavs host their final regular season series at home beginning Thursday as Colorado Christian comes to town.
CMU baseball's final regular season homestand starts tomorrow at 6:05 against Colorado Christian University. Now, CMU is 20-0 at Supplesio Field this year, and though they're loaded with talent on the field, they've got a secret weapon in the stands. KKCO 11 sports reporter Zach Farage explains.
When the Mavericks take the field at Supplesio, their bats aren't the only cracks being made. And if you've been to a game, you've heard them. The players love them.
They're so awesome.
And the coaches love them too.
The pit is outstanding.
Welcome to The Pit, a dedicated group of CMU students, the baseball team's loyal superfans. And if you're on the other team, they're your worst nightmare. Numbers aren't necessarily their strength, usually pulling in between 10 and 20 for a given game, but that doesn't stop them from getting their job done.
Here, supporting the local boys and just talking trash, you know, the sign of a healthy mind's a sarcastic mind.
Really letting them hear what's going on with their lack of ability to play baseball at a high level.
They do their research, yelling out opponent statistics, nicknames, and any other information useful to getting in their heads, or at least to get a good laugh. And members of the pit will admit the ultimate payoff is when the visiting pitcher gets yanked from a mound.
When we say na-na-na to the pitcher, I'm sorry, like there's no more greater feeling than for the fans to be able to do that to them.
But they're more than just hecklers. They're the Mavs' biggest and loudest fans.
It's extra energy, extra motivation, you know. I'm out in right field just laughing the entire time.
While opposing teams hate them, the Mavs are undefeated at home this year, and the pit just might have a little something to do with that.
We hear that we account for maybe 2 runs a game here at home, and that's just a great feeling, and Hanks has shown his appreciation to us.
They're our 12th man, you know, and they do it in a classy way, a fun way.
A fun way so long as you're not sitting in the wrong dugout. In Grand Junction, Zach Barrage, KKCO 11 Sports.
Colorado Mesa is now a perfect 20-0 at home, but Colorado Christian hope to get lucky and go against the odds. That's something that wasn't in their favor in the top of the 4th. Zach Freeman trying to get an extra base, but trouble was looming, and for Freeman, it was game over, ending their half Next inning, the defensive efforts continued. Brandon Hesselberg with a fly ball that's coming down fast. Let's say hello to Austin Kaiser making that catch on the grass. Tyler Dunnington would finish things off with a strikeout, and then the Mavs got to work. Bottom 5, Derek Garcia, this guy knows how to place. He puts one down in open grounds, making his way to first by the skin of his teeth. Robertson scores on the single for a 5-2 lead. Back on the field, Colorado Mesa with stellar. Garcia getting the stop over to Robertson and over to Kevin Mitchell for the 4-6-3 double play, ending the top of the 6th. While time was against the Cougars, it was certainly on the side of the Mavs. With 2 outs, Division II's batting leader Austin Kaiser did it again with a hit to the wall, an RBI double. CMU adds some more insurance with Jordan Leister, a bases clearing double. They'd finish off the night with a 14-4 win, and they play again tomorrow in a doubleheader starting at 3:30. Today, the Mavs and Cougars in Game 2 of their pre-Easter 4-game set in baseball. And after a convincing 10-run win in last night's contest, they look to take care of their RMAC opponents twice more today in a doubleheader. And a less than perfect start for the first game today. Colorado Christian got to Matt DeLay early and put up 2 runs in the first. But we've seen this before. He comes right back in the top of the second and fans Zach Freeman. Then it was time for the bats. After a couple sac flies, Garrett Carpenter gives them the lead. Single to shallow center. Austin Wallingford touches the plate. That was just the beginning of a big day on offense for the Mavs. Tony Audino adds in a single, one of his 4 RBIs to make it 6-2. Meanwhile, DeLay doesn't allow another run after that first inning. He picks up the win, as do the Mavs, 13-2 in the first one. Game 2 meant the Mavericks were looking to take their 3rd straight against CCU. In the bottom of the second, Garrett Dollarhide finds Kevin Mitchell to go down swinging, ending the inning. And in the third, Dollarhide had some more to dish out. This time it's Sergio Valenzuela who gets caught up reaching for the curb. No luck in the inning for the Mavs. Let's see what's in the 4th. With 2 on and no outs, Jordan Leister hits the pavement. It's a 3-run homer that puts CMU up 3-0. In the 5th, the Cougars once again had no answers from the plate, but the Mavericks sure did. They add a run off the sac fly. Then Derek Garcia lifts one just past Austin Atkerson. Kaiser and Leister score off the 2-run double. And you know how the story ends. Mesa with the win, this time 14-1. Tomorrow at 1 o'clock, CMU will look to finish the regular season with a perfect home record in their final home game. That one starts at 1 o'clock, and it's Grand Valley Baseball Appreciation Day. Tickets will be just $5, and all kids wearing their uniforms get in for free.
Well, today was the final home game for the regular season of the 11th ranked Mavericks baseball team, and as we've been closely following for the past few weeks, they're still undefeated at Ecclesiastic Field. On top of that, a win over the Colorado Christian Cougars today would be their 6th sweep of the season, and of course, would make them 24-0 right here in Grand Junction. It was Fan Appreciation Day, Senior Day, which made it a great atmosphere at the ballpark as we approach the Easter holiday. Let's get right to the hits, though, and there were a lot of them. 19 for the Mavs, tied at 2, bottom 3. Derek Garcia smacks it to left field. Nate Robertson, Austin Kaiser score to make it a 4-2 game. Cougars got one in the 4th. Let's head to the 5th. Tony Audino with another tremendous game to cap off a huge series. RBI double here. He was a triple short of the cycle, including an inside-the-park home run. That made it 5-3 there. And Kaiser with a big outing as well. Nothing new from him here. If he's not hitting those bunt singles, he's jacking them over the wall in the left field. Solo shot. That's his 8th of the season. You know, Audino both go 4 for 5 in the game. And speaking of Audino, he hadn't quite gotten his fill of hits. RBI single in the 7th made it 7-4 Mavs. Right before they really opened it up. Final today, 13-4 in another convincing victory. They outscored the Cougars 54-11 in the 4-game series. The Mavs again 24-0 this year at Ecclesiastic. They're 31-8 overall, and they've got 2 more sets next weekend at Regis. They follow that up at Colorado Mines. Well, it's a familiar matchup for the CMU Mavericks, who went 3-2 against CSU Pueblo in their regular season for baseball. They were in the same spot 1 year ago at Ecclesiastic Field against the same team for the RMAC tournament title, but this time they hope to be on the right side of the scoreboard. Chris Hanks and his guys versus the Wolves. This year, they've been a handful. As I mentioned, 3-2. Of course, last night's game not included there. This team can certainly swing the bat. Could they get their first tournament championship since 2011? They had a 2-run lead. Nate Robertson adds to it here in the 3rd. He squirts it up the middle. That scores Garrett Carpenter, and it's 3-0. Kyle Davis on the bump. He is your clutch pitcher. and his stuff was working well. Sets down Lonnie Spoon here, but in the fourth, these solid bats finally put one on the board thanks to Evan Kennebrew. Same thing, Robertson's in right up the gut to make it 3-1 Mesa. Let's go to the fifth inning. Some great situational ball from the Mavs. We've seen that all season long. Surprise, Austin Kaiser doubles into deep right center field. And a few pitches later, Hanks gives him the green light to head on over to third base, where he's able to beat the throw and ducks his tag. Now Jordan Leister stands in. He will complete the trip, smacking this through the hole in left field. Kaiser scores a very important fourth run to extend the lead back to 3. Cal Davis sat after 7 solid innings and leading by just 2. Tyler Dunnington picks up where Davis left off. A strikeout in the 8th and the final out here in the 9th. Freeze frame on Mario Sanchez. That is ball game. RMAC season champs. RMAC tourney champs as they swarm the mound. In all likelihood, they're going to host the regionals right here at Simplicity Field. It's their 11th all-time conference tournament championship victory, and they've got a nice running start into the NCAA tournament.
All the important stuff happens in tournaments at the end. And even if you don't win the regular season league, you know, this year coming into the tournament, we're in a good position to be in the regional whether we win this or not. But we want to play as if we need to win it, and we want that to become habit.
And much like the regular season, the RMAC's hottest bat stayed that way throughout the weekend as senior outfielder Austin Kaiser was named the tournament's most valuable player. Kaiser hit .700, going 7 for 10 over a 3-game span with 4 RBIs and a home run. And of course, he was terrific out in right field.
It's definitely a goal that we've had throughout the year, and especially this last month, is to finish strong, you know, and do well in tournament play, you know, and this is the first of hopefully 3 tournaments. And so to come out and sweep the tournament, you know, it's a big deal. You know, we're excited that that's how it turned out, but at the same time, we know we have bigger things we want to accomplish.
And joining Kaiser on the all-tournament team, shortstop Nate Robertson, catcher Austin Wallingford, pitchers Matt DeLay and Kyle Davis, who both picked up a win from the mound over the weekend. The regional tournament begins Thursday, and we'll find out the seedings shortly.
The baseball committee has spoken, and to them, 40 wins, a conference regular season and tournament title was more than enough for the Mesa Mavericks to garner a regional #1 seed in the NCAA tournament. It's a nice step up from last year, not only because they have a bit more of a favorable matchup, but because they get home field advantage through their South Central matchup. So it all begins Thursday as they make another run towards a national championship, and the first opponent is RMAC rival New Mexico Highlands. This season has been different from any other under Coach Hanks for a couple reasons. As we know, they've been perfect at home and have a knack for grabbing the lead early on in each game. Those have been 2 big keys to their success, and now with regionals right here in town, this might be the group of guys to go all the way.
We've been great at home this year, and it's because of our fans and routine and just everything like that. And so I think the biggest part of that was that we had home field advantage.
That's a goal of ours every single game, to be the first team to score. You know, obviously we want that to be in the first inning, but no matter where it is, if you can get up, and then we can do our best to extend and protect that lead.
You know, batting averages don't matter, ERAs don't matter, nothing matters except winning, and whatever it takes to win. If we can get a group of guys thinking in those terms, then that's when special things can happen.
So get ready for a fun ride. Again, the games begin Thursday, and the Mavericks will take the field for the first time at 7 o'clock in the evening. So it will turn to a game under the lights. The regional tournament is a double-A elimination format, with the other 4 teams in the bracket being West Texas A&M, Texas A&M Kingsville, St. Edwards, and Tarleton State. Tickets are $12 apiece, 7 for seniors, 3 for students, and 3 for children 5 and under. The CMU Mavericks baseball team put in some finishing touches prior to the start of tomorrow's NCAA South Central Regional Championships as they look for their first World Series berth since 2009. 6 teams will open up the first round of play on Thursday. For Colorado Mesa, they play host to 6th-ranked New Mexico Highlands in the first round. The Mavs traveled to New Mexico back in late March, only to split the series in 4 thrilling games. This time around, CMU has that home field advantage, and they've learned from an early 2013 regional exit, so they're coming a little bit hungry.
A lot of these guys were on that team. You know, we know how it feels to, go that far and, come up short. So I think that's just going to be one determining factor that's just going to help us and aid us.
We're just really excited to host. It's something we've been, it's a goal we've had the last month to win the tournament and end up hosting. We feel like we deserve it. And now that we're, about to host, we're all really excited, especially since we do pretty well at home.
The Colorado Mesa Mavericks earned the rights to host this year's regional baseball tournament after finishing off 40-10. At the end of the regular season, they were named conference and tournament champions and got up to a number 5 national ranking. On top of all that, they hold to the highest batting average in all of Division II. But 6th seed New Mexico Highlands knew what they were getting tonight. The two entered into the first round of the double elimination tournament, with winner advancing to play St. Edwards, a team that is up against full-on elimination already. We'll start in the first inning. Matt DeLay saving himself from a big injury. At the same time, the play from happening. Then New Mexico Highlands had a savvy response of their own. D2's batting leader Austin Kaiser gets a piece of the ball, sending it into foul territory. But Justin Rodriguez comes in with the impressive catch to the second. Matt DeLay, guy still without a loss to his name, came dealing, gets the hungry Colby Wilmer swinging. Next on the agenda, Javier Ledford, another swing and a miss. And then he does it again, an answer to finish off the top half. Tyler Hayes just watching away. But the Cowboys weren't the only ones struggling at the plate. Mesa's Kevin Mitchell takes the bait, still no score. Then the third inning rolls around and the storm brews with Jordan Goliath at third. Justin Rodriguez hangs his ball in the air. Kaiser just a smidge too late. Goliath scores easily with 2 on 2 outs. Mavs are nearly out of harm's way, but Colby Wilmer finds the gap. Carpenter can't put a stop on the ball. Rodriguez touches the plate for a 2-0 lead, and they weren't done. Nick Gonzalez dropping one near second. Mitchell can't make the pass right. Gonzalez is safe. Morgan McClaslin adds another run to the board. So maybe the Mavs can respond. No outs, run on first. Wallingford finds Rodriguez, who turns it for the 5-4-3 double play. Highlands is just 1 out away from getting back to work, and when they did, they broke it wide open in the fourth with runners on the corners and 2 outs. Matthew Chavez goes to the parking lot. A 3-run home run that puts New Mexico Highlands up 6-0. They would go up 8-0. But the Mavericks weren't quite done. Late in the game, they finally broke through. Blake Harrison, the pitcher for Highlands, adding 2 runs in the 7th, and so far 4 in the 8th. We're still in the bottom of the 8th inning as they work to rally their way back with no outs on the board. CMU has gone through 2 Highlands pitchers already in this inning, and they trail 8-6 is our last update. The winner of tonight's game moves on to play St. Edwards. Hilltoppers, a team in a win or go home situation. They were last year's regional champs, but they fell 9-2 at the hands of 3-seed Texas A&M Kingsville. The NCAA Division II South Central Regional Tournament continued on today. Elimination game for Tarleton State and New Mexico. Cowboys probably still in shock after their loss to CMU last night, trailing 8-3 when Andrew Ratterman hacks the pitch to right field. It gets out in a hurry, 3-run shot, tying the game. Now, bottom 8 with a runner on third. Jordan Goliath takes this for a ride to right as well. It's deep enough for the sac fly. Cowboys somehow have a run game, but top of 9. Runner on second, 2 outs. They can't close the door. Kevin Meredith with the chopper up the middle. It's fielded in center. We're going to have a play at the plate, but the throw's not in time. It's another tie game. It goes to extras where the Texans would prevail, eliminating the Cowboys from the tournament 13-9. Now, quite possibly one of the best baseball games I've ever seen in person or otherwise last night, when the Mavs rallied back from an 8-0 hole to beat Highlands in the final 3 innings. And if you were there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And if that were to happen again tonight against St. Edwards University, you can bet those same fans who left early last night would be sticking around this time. But a blank slate. This time it was the Hilltoppers, one of the best pitching staffs in D2. Let's see how it played out. Mesa got the first run of the game, but trailed 2-1 here. When the squeeze is on, Nate Robertson lays down gorgeous bunt, allowing Sergio Valenzuela to tie it up at 2 apiece. Not the best stuff from Matt Allen today. He's unable to make it out of the 5th inning. On offense, the Mavs do some work. Down 6-3 bases, jammed for Wallingford. The hit just shy of a grand slam, clearing the bags. Wally advances to third on the throw, tie ball game. So, contrary to last night, the Mavs start their comeback a little earlier. Next batter, Kevin Elcock. Wallingford scores easily on the double. That's just inside that line. Look at that. They lead 7-6. They weren't done yet. Pitchers keep throwing it to this guy, and he continues to take them. Austin Kaiser smashing this thing opposite field. Another near home run is his second RBI triple of the game. It's a 6-run, 6th inning for the Mavs. So Coach Hanks goes to old reliable Dakota Bear, very versatile pitcher. He pitches 2 1/3 with no hits allowed, top 8. Now Derek Garcia, one of the hottest bats recently. He joins the hit parade, driving in Leicester, make it 11-7 CMU, and let's not miss any of these runs. Valenzuela with a single to center. Elcock scores 12-8. Your final, another small scare for the Mavs as they dig themselves into a bit of an early hole. But there's something about this group. They can't seem to lose at Simplicio, and they never stop fighting. It's on to the next one.
I know these guys will fight. We're at a point now where it's just all about the team. And I know these guys care about each other and what we're trying to do. And you know what, we can go home at the end of the day and feel good about that.
We are resilient, we are relentless, and that we hate to lose. It's just kind of a big circle of, hey, we'll keep fighting, we'll keep doing our thing, our bats will wake up, we'll figure it out.
Just 2 undefeated teams remaining in the NCAA South Central Regional Tournament, and they met this afternoon at Simplicio Field. One of them, of course, being the Mesa Mavericks, who continue to entertain crowds and baffle their opponents by finding ways to win, each one more exciting than the next, it seems. The other team, West Texas A&M University, the number 2 seed in the tournament, who beat Texas A&M Kingsville last night 17-3. Could they carry that offense over today? Let's find out. Lots of action, so let's jump right into it. We've seen the Mavs fall behind early in their first 2 games. First inning, though, they look like a team from the regular season, seizing the lead right away. It's Nate Robertson singling home the first run. The very next batter is Jordan Leicester, a little dribbler in front of the plate with the bases loaded. It's good enough to plate Garrett Carpenter, making it 2-0. Derek Garcia is up next. He is going to smack this one with 1 out into left field. A liner to the glove. Austin Kaiser tags and hustles in to beat the throw. It's a 3-0 ball game. Same score to the bottom of the third. A great situation. Runners on, no outs. Garcia again. Same spot, but this one drops into shallow. Kaiser scores again. And that's all they get in the third, though. That come back to haunt them. Kyle Davis cruising along to the top of the 5th. One of the few pitches he wishes he could have back. Nick Chapman takes the hanging ball to the warning track and left. That scores 2. A couple batters later, Tyler McKnight, a towering fly ball. Looks like it'll be an easy out, but it finds that vacant spot. It's a bloop single. 2 more scored, and we have a tie game. Bottom of the inning. Here comes Robertson. He had himself a game. 4 for 5 with a couple ribbies. This one paints the third baseline. That's a stand-up double for him. Carpenter scores, and they retake the lead. Davis is still on the mound in the 6th after a leadoff walk. He gets a fly ball and follows it up with 2 huge strikeouts here, ending the inning. He's fired up. We'll go to the 7th now. The Buffs respond. Davis exits in favor of Tyler Ehlers, who gives up a couple singles, including this one to David Hebert. They get 2 in the inning and lead 6-5. Bottom 7 now. There have been so many heroes on this team. Seems like a new one each day over the last couple weeks. Today, that guy is Garrett Woodward. An incredible swing. He lifts it over the wall in left field. A 3-run shot for Woody. That would wind up being the difference. Oh, they tack one more on later. Ehlers picks up the win. Trent Alionic pitches the final 2 innings for the save. 9-6 final, and the Mavs will play for the regional championship tomorrow. Another gritty effort here, including big days from the mound from Davis and timely hitting, as we just saw from Woodward.
That second one that dropped into right field, that's a heartbreaker, and so I got worked up over that and went back out there, and we needed a spark. We needed something to keep us going, and I think I did my job right there and tried to give it to us.
Garrett's a great competitor. That's why he's in the ball game. You know, I know he's one of the kids that'll compete, and I know he's engaged. I know he cares. I know he'll battle, and for me, that's enough.
Championship Sunday for the Colorado Mesa baseball team. They already rolled through the RMAC tournament last week, not losing a game. The start to this tourney on Thursday was electric as it comes. They came back from an 8-0 deficit to beat New Mexico Highlands. St. Edwards was their next victim as the Mavs won in comeback fashion again. And then yesterday they took care of West Texas A&M to advance to today's games against Texas A&M Kingsville. Let's have a look now at how the noon game played out today. With day 1 pitcher Matt DeLay not quite ready to go for this one, and Matt Allen and Kyle Davis each pitching the last 2 days, head coach Chris Hanks sent Ryan Reno out to the mound to get the job done. He had a very nice season, but has been out of the regular rotation for some time.
and it showed early. First inning, All-American Taylor Tasca hits the Reno pitch right back where it came from, scoring the game's first run. Then it was number 34, Brian Frazier, the senior outfielder, hits this one out into left field, which plates another run for the Javelinas, and it's already a 2-0 hole for CMU, but we've seen this before, especially in this tournament. CMU falls behind, but they always battle back. This is a 3-run shot from Justin Lee, however, and if they're going to battle back, it'll have to be out of a 5-0 hole now. 5 runs in the first inning. Reno settles down, no runs in the second, and he ends that inning on a strikeout. Top 4, same score. Let the inevitable rally begin with the DH. Jordan Leister goes right back up the gut. Nate Robertson comes home to score, cutting the lead to 4. Then it was Austin Wallingford, who's been swinging the bat very well. He laces this pitch into left center field. J-Mo scores from third. Derek Garcia scores from second. It is a 2-run game. Next batter, Sergio Valenzuela, joining the hit parade as the Mavs continue to fight back. He puts it into shallow right field. Wally comes home to score, and it's a 5-0 game just like that. To the top of the 6th inning now, trailing by 2. We saw Garrett Woodward crank a 3-run bomb yesterday. He hits a gapper right here. It rolls to the warning track, and the Mavs tie the game. Top of the order, Valenzuela at the dish again. He lays down the squeeze bunt with Woodward charging home. The toss to the plate is not a good one. He is safe, and the Mavs take a 7-6 lead. Derek Garcia brought home another run on a sac fly for an 8-6 lead, but in the 8th, Reno is still on the mound, and maybe for a bit too long. A chopper right back up the middle brings home a run, and that ties it up at 8. Dakota Bear comes on in relief, but he can't retire the side. A base hit to left field, and Garrett Carpenter is going to come up throwing, but he is cut off. The winning run scores 9-8 on that play. The Mavs get no runs in the 9th inning, and that is your final score as the two teams will head to a second meeting. And just want to quickly clear up, that was Kevin Mitchell on the RBI single we saw about halfway through those highlights, not Jordan Leister, as I mentioned. But being the one team, the CMU team, they haven't lost in double elimination tournament. It's a mulligan, more or less, for the Mavs. They get a second shot against the Javelinas later on in the day. Remember, it was that same team that knocked CMU out of the tournament just 1 year ago. They were determined not to let that same thing happen again. So on to game number 2. Let's go. It's Matt DeLay, ready to go. Just 2 full days rest, but they couldn't keep this guy off of the bump. He was their pitcher on Thursday when the tournament began against Highlands. Not his best outing then, and Coach Hanks knew he would pitch better this time. He gave up 3 runs through 5. But let's look at offense. This is the 5th inning. Sergio Valenzuela takes advantage of a bad pickoff. He's on third with 1 out. Austin Kaiser does what he has to do to bring him home. Just enough contact to short. Valenzuela scores, and that ties it up at 3 through 5 innings. Top 6, DeLay was dealing. He fans Brian Frazier, and the side would eventually be retired. Bottom 6, Garrett Woodward gives the Mavs the lead. He started the half with a double. Kevin Elcock moved him to third, and the pass ball makes it 4-3. Now, Austin Wallingford, he has got to be the best 9-hole hitter in the country. He continued to destroy the baseball during this tournament. Over the wall in left field and disturbing that bird up there who was resting. 2-run shot, 3-run lead. Mavs continue to threaten in the inning, but Matt Rhodes comes up with a huge strikeout to end the inning in a 3-6 hole. Back to the field, runners on 1 and 2, no outs. DeLay gets the ball he needs. Watch the play from Derek Garcia. Glove flip to Robertson over to first for the double play. You'll get another look here. DeLay gets out of the inning with a final out, so no harm done. Oh my goodness, that is your Sports Center top 10 play. Let's go to the top of the 9th now. The score 7-5 Mavs, bases loaded for the Javelinas. Tyler Dunnington walks in a run, make it 7-6. So Chris Hanks brings in Matt Allen, Friday's starting pitcher, and the first batter he sees is going to be Taylor Tasca, again pitching on short rest like DeLay. He gets Allen golfing at that pitch. Woodward is there for out number 2. So 1 away. Up comes Frazier, a power hitter. He's had a great tournament. He's going to make good contact. It's sailing out and out to right field. Will it drop? It won't. Austin Kaiser is there. The senior tracks it down. They are your regional champions. Final 7-6. Your Colorado Mesa Mavericks are heading to North Carolina to represent the South Central region in the NCAA Division II World Series. And what a fitting finish to an incredible tournament for these Mavs.
Austin Kaiser ran that ball down down the right field line, and the gust from the gods kept that ball in the park. You know, we're very fortunate, we're very happy, and I'm very proud of these guys.
Yeah, all I was trying to do is, it's up, I have to get to this ball. It doesn't matter what it takes, dive, slide, you know, I just have to get it, or else you know, we're going to lose the lead.
And what a gutsy effort from these guys again, and the fans that attended the tournament, I'm sure would agree with me that the Mavs made some of the most entertaining baseball out there. Now it's their first regional title since back in 2009, and actually 2 members of the current team were a part of that, and those are Garrett Carpenter and Kyle Davis. But from the mound, you got to give it up for Ryan Reno, who pitched very well early on in Game 1, and Matt DeLay. He did 8 1/3 innings of work on short rest for the win. Even though his numbers might not suggest it, that was an enormous outing from the junior.
I went and did ice and running and just trying to flush everything out, and this would actually be a bullpen day, so I would be throwing, and I just had to dig a little deeper today and find a little extra, and luckily I found it.
That performance today, that's going to go down in the storybooks as one of the guttiest performances in our program's history, because I know he was disappointed in his outing Thursday night against Highlands, and that's why we also thought he would pitch good today.
Now, after the game, the all-regional tournament team was announced, and the Mavs put 4 guys on that team, including Austin Wallingford at catcher, who batted 6 for 18 over the tournament with a homer and 8 RBIs. Kaiser, who went 8 for 22 with 3 RBIs and 5 runs scored. And, of course, the great defense out there in right field as well. Matt DeLay was named as a pitcher. 2 starts, 1 win, 8 strikeouts, but mainly because of the gutty effort in today's performance. And finally, Derek Garcia at second base. He went 12 for 21 in the tournament, way better than 500. He had a big home run in that first game, 8 RBIs, 7 runs scored. Those numbers were good enough to garner the tournament MVP award. But it's not over just yet for these guys. It's now on to Cary, North Carolina for the D2 World Series. First up, St. Thomas Aquinas, a team they've never seen. They were the 4th seed out of the East Regional, and they've got a 39-16 record to this point after beating Dowling their last 2 games. The Mavs are heading east. Their first game is Saturday, May 25, 3 o'clock Mountain Time. Again, this tournament, just like the regional tournament, is a double elimination format.
Over the weekend, the CMU baseball team won the South Central Regional title in an incredible fashion. Now, this afternoon, they spent their last day in Grand Junction practicing before they catch their flight to Cary, North Carolina tomorrow morning for the World Series in Division II. It will be the program's 2nd time heading there, but for 2 seniors, it will be a second chance to win a national championship.
May of 2009, this was the scene at Supplesio Field when Mesa State College beat Wayne State College to advance to its first ever NCAA Division II World Series. A similar sight over the weekend when the 2014 Mavs claimed the South Central Regional title with a 7-6 thriller over Texas A&M Kingsville. It was similar outcomes with a couple very different teams, though 2 guys remained the same. Kyle Davis and Garrett Carpenter, each involved in these regional title dogpiles.
It's pretty special. Garrett and I are really excited. We've been able to tell these guys what to expect and try and help them get ready and try and get rid of some of those nerves, and we're looking forward to it.
As true freshmen 5 years ago, shoulder and elbow surgeries kept each of these guys off the field over the past few years, and now they have a second shot at the World Series as 6-year seniors.
It's pretty good, you know, because I came here as a freshman, you know, and I wanted to go every year, and, you know, it just feels good that I get to go 2 out of the 4 years I played, so I was very excited.
Along with Coach Chris Hanks and his staff, that makes Davis and Carpenter the only 2 Mavericks in program history to advance to this stage 2 separate times. And even as freshmen, Hanks sent both of these guys to the mound in 2009.
They weren't kids that were expected to carry the load, so they didn't play with any pressure. They just went out and did what they do. They pitched. And they pitched really well because of it.
The Mavs began with a Game 1 win against Belmont Abbey College, 7-2. Carpenter threw 2 1/3 innings of relief, and even though it was 5 years ago, the experience is still fresh in his mind.
Kind of came in a big situation. I think we were up 1 or 2, and the guy laid a bunt down, got the guy out of third, struck out the next guy, and got the next guy to pop up.
Mesa lost Game 2 against Emporia State, where Davis made his appearance. They were eliminated in a Game 3 loss, but after an intense and grueling regional tournament over this last weekend, this World Series has a different feel to it.
Last time we were there, I don't want to say we weren't there to win it, but we were there more as participants, and this time we're going back. We're ready to win it.
In Grand Junction, Zach Barrage, KKCO 11 Sports.
The Mavs will get a couple days to check out the field before they play in their first game. That is on Sunday the 25th at 3 o'clock our time against St. Thomas Aquinas.
The best season in Colorado Mesa baseball history finally came to a close yesterday, and while the Mavs fell 1 game short of an NCAA national championship, they were welcomed back into Grand Junction today by their loyal fans. They flew into the airport at about noon today and were brought in by a police escort. The team bus arriving at Supplesio Field right around 1 o'clock. Fans came out and sat in the stands behind the first base dugout, and they gave a standing ovation to the entire team as they walked in from the home team bullpen area. Coach Hanks and Austin Kaiser then addressed the crowd and thanked them for the support all season, saying they could feel it all the way over in North Carolina, the support. And from the magic of playing at Supplesio Field this year, where they were undefeated at home, to the years that guys like Kaiser and Kyle Davis have had, to the countless comebacks and one-run wins, it's difficult to put this season into words.
I don't know how to describe it. I think that some of those things will sink in a little bit later. You know, even last night going to the title game, it felt like another game. It was another baseball game. I don't think, and even now, you know, we lost a game. It was one of the best years in school history for the sport of baseball, maybe the best. You know, it's hard getting there. I mean, to get through NCAA regional, you know, to get through that national tournament bracket and to the national finals, it's hard to do. It'll be hard to get back. But, you know, there's a road map there, and these guys have blazed a trail, so we'll try to teach some other guys how to follow it.
Coach Hanks alluding to next year and the seasons to come, having a ton of talent coming back. This 2014 team certainly could be the start of something very big for the program, but definitely an emotional time at Supplesio. Afterwards, the team and staff signed the NCAA National Championship banners that will be displayed for everyone to see.